Something I've been curious about for a little bit is whether or not we need to build these crazy contraptions to record audio into our cameras. So in this video, we're gonna find out what's best to record audio externally or internally. Let's go. Firstly, I just want to say a big hello to the 100 new subscribers, which is joining. So we've just hit 900 subscribers, which is pretty mind-blowing to me. I thought this was going to take much longer, but we're starting to get a lot of people interested in the videos I'm making. So I guess that's a little bit of encouragement for my brain and my soul and the time it takes to make these videos, but that's all right. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing because 100 people recently thought it was a good idea, so maybe you should too. But anyway, my name's Josh, and let me know in the comments if there's any other videos you'd like to see me make. Otherwise, let's carry on. I want to start by introducing you to my little contraption I have made, which is probably familiar to quite a few of you. You got the classic zoom, and then you got the audio on top, and you just got this massive, oversized little contraption here. And I guess what we're going to find out is this even needed for recording audio, and can you at home or wherever you're watching this video tell the difference? So whether you got headphones on or you're just watching on your mobile, this is a good test because you're going to hear firsthand whether you actually think there is a difference between using a zoom or just going straight into the camera. So we're going to do 3 tests. The first one is just going to be the Rode mic straight into the camera. The second one is going to be the Rode mic straight into the zoom, and then we're going to sync it in post. And the third option is going to be the Rode mic into the zoom into the camera. Hopefully by the end of this video, we'll know which one is probably the best for our videos and what we should be doing. I'm using the Rode NT USB Mini for all these talking parts, just so there's no confusion, because this is running straight into my computer, so you'll know exactly the difference and you'll be able to hear exactly. I didn't want to use any fancy mics or anything in this talking bit, just because I want to really cleanse our ear palates, if you will, so we can make the right decisions. But otherwise, let's get into the tests. This is the first test, which is the Rode mic straight into the R6, and you're hearing me, the levels recording into the camera are sitting about -12 to -6 dB, around that spot, and this is how I sound. And I'm gonna speak this volume through all the tests. So 1, 2, 3, this is the mic straight into the camera. And now we'll hear some sound so you can get a bit of the room tone and the noise that this creates with the preamps in the camera. And I'm gonna say the same sentence now with everything. And that sentence is, I believe pineapple does not belong on a pizza. So now we're moving on to test number 2, which is the Zoom H5, a pretty reasonable external recorder, which a lot of you probably have yourselves, and the same mic as well in the same position, but nothing's going through the camera. So we're gonna sync this all up in post, and that's what you're listening to right now. So this is the test. So we'll give this a couple of seconds for some room tone, which you still can hear my little hard drive NAS, which is just over to the corner, but ignore that. And obviously the same statement, which probably is triggering some people, and if it is, I hope you have a deep think about yourself, but once again, pineapple does not belong on pizza. All right, let's move to the next one. So this is the third and final test, which is the Rode into the zoom and then another line out into the camera. And let's see how this sounds. So this is also the room tone once again. And then testing 1, 2, 3. So this is how my voice sounds. The levels once again sitting between -12 and -6, and then I'll do some adjustments in post. But otherwise, final time I'm gonna say it, guys, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. I've said it 3 times, we all know now. But let's take all these tests and chuck it on the computer and we'll have a listen. Let's do it. So I've just had a listen and compared the levels and the sound and everything. And if you're with me, I'm pretty confident that I couldn't really tell the difference between the first 2. Probably minor. There's probably a minor difference between recording externally to the zoom and then internally straight into the camera. But I did notice a bit of a difference going the pass-through thing, because it's like, even though you're going into the zoom, it still relies on the camera's preamps, and then it gets a bit extra, it gets gained pretty much like twice or something. So I probably would recommend not doing that. Maybe for a backup audio, it's a good idea. But ultimately, I don't think there's much of a difference. If you're in an environment where you can just plug the camera straight into your camera and still get the mic close enough to get good audio, I probably would recommend just doing that, because one, if you don't own a Zoom, you don't need to buy one, and two, it's less hassle setting up things and you're not carrying around this big bulky thing. However, if you need obviously more inputs, you're recording more interview style and you got more people, mics and everything, you might need a Zoom for the more inputs there. You let me know in the comments if you could tell a difference, but otherwise I honestly think it's best case scenario. But if you don't have to use the external recorder, I probably wouldn't, just to save the hassle, money, time. It goes on. So there you go. Not much of a difference, but there is a difference still. But really, ultimately, up to you. Otherwise, I hope you consider subscribing, and I can see you guys next week. And I will add, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, I do have a little surprise, a little drop that is going to happen that I am working on right now. So if we get to 1,000, I will release it, which you will know. And this is the biggest tease. You don't even know what it is, but let me know in the comments if you think you know what it is. You probably won't, but it's rhymes with butts. Peace out, guys. See you next week.